Hello everyone, this is Nidhanil with the last podcast in the series of Sustainet. The previous episodes of podcast discuss the most relevant topics that range from sustainable development to measures to be taken to protect environment. The goal of sustainability can be achieved when people are given appropriate knowledge about it. There arises the significance of encompassing environmental education and awareness classes and campaigns in our school curriculum. Environmental education. The concept of environmental literacy is not understood monolithically by different authors. However, it can be briefly summarized as having competency in recognizing environmental problems, as well as correct attitude, motivation, and skills to take an active role in solving them. Even if there are different views about the content, goals, and most suitable strategies and methods to achieve environmental literacy. The dominant view is that students should construct their knowledge through active learning by methods and strategies that emphasize such learning, and teachers are recognized as the key element in such education. The process of environmental education for sustainable development should start as early as the kindergarten years and continue throughout the lifespan in a process of lifelong learning. In this process, schools have additional responsibility in contrast to others involved in environmental education and activities. In school, environmental education should be based on the scientific facts and logical reasoning, what is not always the case in public debates on many environmental issues. Some of the countries, beginning with the year 2018, pre-university schools must incorporate into their programs the curriculum of environmental education as education for sustainable development. The curriculum is structured in a cross-curricular approach as a list of goals, objectives, and recommendations and does not prescribe in which subject or extracurricular form a particular topic or activity should be embedded. In this way, the decision on how to make the curriculum operational is left to the school. The reason behind the implementation of such a form of curriculum lay in the acknowledged complexity of environmental issues, where explanation and solution do not lie in a single domain but at intersection of science, social science and humanities. The term used for such complex issues that cross the domain of traditional disciplines and the dichotomy between science and the social science is socio-scientific issue. This does not mean that before 2008 there was no environmental education in schools. On the contrary, in the late 1980s and again in the late 1990s, the school system was radically transformed, and environmental education gradually became a constituent part of compulsory primary and lower secondary schools and elective upper secondary schools. The document pertaining to reform in the late 1980s, environmental education was mostly regarded as part of science subjects and ecology. Environmental education is a process that allows individuals to explore environmental issues, engage in problem solving, and take action to improve the environment. As a result, individuals develop a deeper understanding of environmental issues and have the skills to make informed and responsible decisions. Tomorrow's leaders need to equipped for tomorrow's challenges, and we must adequately prepare our children for the future they will inherit. As climate change is being felt across the globe and its long term catastrophic impact have never been so scientifically clear. Environmental education is the key to a better future. In an area where more and more children are disconnected from nature, we should recognize the importance of making a real investment in environmental education and outdoor learning. Studies have shown environmental education engage students in learning, raising test scores, and encouraging youth to pursue career in environmental and natural resources. And not only that, environmental education can help children perform better in social studies, science, language, arts, and maths. The secret to environmental education is to act at different levels, engaging the entire school and addressing students, teachers, parents, administrators, and all members of the school community. Eventually, it will link up all the participants within the community. The component of this initiative depend on interaction and participation, with teachers undertaking a guiding role by encouraging students to discover solutions on their own. At first, students should determine and check the extent of their use of natural resources in the school. Through this, they evaluate their efforts in the field of environmental management. As a second step, children should set up and run eco clubs. Eco clubs provide an opportunity to students to participate in environmental projects and activities. They also serve as a forum through which the students share environmental problems along with the school staff, parents, and communities surrounding the schools in order to work on finding solutions and promote a positive environmental behavior. In this component, the schools can implement internal and external projects such as introducing efficient methods of irrigation, lowering the volume of waste, reducing consumption of electricity and water, and trying to reduce air pollution. The third step focus on organizing training courses for teachers and releasing educational resources in different teams and curricula, helping them to teach environmental concepts in innovative ways and through various educational materials such as environmental friendly games. This will help teachers to adapt and to provide students with information about different habitats, biodiversity, climate change, and other issues faced at the local level as well as faced by the planet on a global level. The final step should be to connect students to environmental causes and issues and identify solutions through the provisions of field trips. Additionally, such trips can be associated with the educational curriculum as they offer direct learning method. This helps boosting the understanding of various concepts by the students and increasing the chance of using multiple senses such as eyesight, hearing, etc., which helps to raise their capacity to understand what they have learned. The success and engagement of schools to take on the environment field trips is great and extensive, and it represents a such full of amazing adventures of exploration and knowledge. Undoubtedly, the final and greatest outcome is to educate our children on the importance of becoming good environmental citizens. The Middle East region faces difficult natural conditions, and it is clear that steep population growth, poverty, and the consequent degradation of natural ecosystem make it a priority when it comes to environmental awareness and sustainability goals. One of the biggest challenges is certainly the lack of awareness. Most countries are blessed with high levels of education, with a large portion of the population pursuing secondary and higher education. Unfortunately, however, human development and wealth are not always synonymous with high environmental awareness and interest in sustainability issues. An interesting survey conducted in some countries that the environmental awareness of the public was related to education level but also to gender and age. Males were found to have higher level of knowledge about environmental issues than females. Males were also more environmentally concerned and tended to engage in more environmental behaviors than females. Younger and more educated respondents tended to be more knowledgeable and concerned about the environment than older and less educated respondents. Educating the UAE youth and preparing them to lead the country's sustainable future is the first goal in the UAE National Environmental Awareness Strategy, and the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment encourages the youth to innovate and be part of global environmental efforts. Recently, the UAE has taken a major step including environmental education in all schools. Minister of Climate Change and Environment announced that awareness of climate change and how to help save the environment will be taught in classrooms across the country. Under plans to week school curriculum to include learning on sustainability. School children will also be shown how to take energy saving measures. These include school children of all ages, including in private sector schools, learning the importance of turning off lights and air conditioning when not in use, and how to use less water. Each pupil will also be encouraged to spread the message to their family and friends. One of these initiatives, called Sustainable Schools, is an extension of a program that started in Abu Dhabi in 2009. What role does education play in sustainable development? Good quality education is an essential tool for achieving a more sustainable world. This was emphasized at the UN World Summit, where the reorientation of current education system was oriented as key to sustainable development. Education for sustainable development promotes development of the knowledge, skill, understanding, values, and actions required to create a sustainable world, which ensures environmental protection and conservation, promotes social equity, and encourages economic sustainability. The concept of environmental sustainable education developed largely from environmental education, which has sought to develop the knowledge, skill, values, attitudes, and behavior in people to care for their environment. The aim of ESD is to enable people to make decisions and carry out actions to improve our quality of life without compromising the planet. It also aims to integrate the values inherent in sustainable development into all aspects and levels of learning. There are number of key themes in ESD, and while the dominant focus is on environmental concern, it also addresses themes such as poverty alleviation, citizenship, peace, ethics, responsibility in local and global contexts, democracy and governance, justice, human rights, gender equality, corporate responsibility, natural resource management, and biological diversity. It is generally accepted that certain characteristics are important for the successful implementation of ESD, reflecting the equal importance of both the learning process and the outcomes of education process. I would like to wrap up my podcast series on a happy note as I hope that I am successful to an extent to draw your attention to some of the major concerns related to our natural environment. It really turned out to be one of the most amazing experiences to me too to deal with such a consequential topics. Let me also take this moment to extend my sincere gratitude to all the listeners for being with me in this journey towards sustainable development with the utmost support and patience. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.